Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to ACL's 5K series here. Of course, we're live here from Sydney, Australia, from our ACL office studio. Here, I'm Mike's joined by Vector. Vector, how are you feeling so far in this 5K?
Well, we did see a great game last one with Sanctum winning 2-0 over Flashbacks. That was a great way to start the tournament, definitely for myself, as we saw some great plays there. Just great way to start off, and I can't wait to see how they go against Integral in this one.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting matchup, of course, as he just mentioned. Integral Nation taking on 4N Sanctum for this match. Of course, definitely a very interesting one indeed for our round two. This, I mean, it's a single elimination competition, so you lose and you're out of here. So, of course, it is going to be an interesting chance to see which teams make it further along through in this bracket. Of course, to obtain the much needed and very, very crucial seeding points for ACL Brisbane at the end of this month. Either way, though, Detroit hardpoint going to be for map number 1. Definitely an interesting addition at that.
Yeah, well, definitely a much-loved map by many people. Definitely with that first hardpoint being at the Atlas. They're very hotly contested, like every map. So just being able to get a few points there is just great. We saw Sanctum rock up 30 points in the first hardpoint on Solar last series, or in their first match of the day. And that was pretty good to see. That's one of the better hardpoints that we've seen so far. So if they can do it again, they'll be off to a good start in this map.
They definitely will be, of course, loading on up now into the game. Of course, not the core lineup from Integral Nation that we are used to. Of course, they are using Yelza in place of Beaston. And, of course, hopefully going to be showing some great success with that one as well. So, loading up into the game, of course, you do have Damage, Yelza, Chilean, and Fate. Going to be taking on 4N Sanctum, who we just saw previously in the last round of competition. That is going to be Carry, Nimble, Jay-Z, and Wanted. Of course, let's jump on board with the IN squad up first and see what they will be able to do. COD Vision on for you all now as well. Of course, as you mentioned, the first hard point down at that Atlas building. We're going to be seeing Damage as he looks through the school window.
Yeah, well, definitely. It looks like nobody's really pushing it. As I say that, it all is in favor of Integral right there. Looks like that Sanctum did jump on that hard point there to get 2 points there, but it looks like the Integral are coming back. They got 6 points now. Just all waiting for the push right there, and as we see, Damage just get taken down, but Yalza really picking up a kill there, just taken down by Carry, but definitely 9-3 still in favor of Integral.
You can see, of course, these points just going back and forward as you were just talking about. Chilean, though, I'm on board with him as he's circling around. He will get stunned and then taken down, but you do notice his rotation there will leave Nimble in this hard point. Now, you do have, of course, 14 points and counting. Nearly a little bit of friendly fire going on there, but the players trying to go in through that school border sign and the car park. And you just see Nimble just being able to walk away with an entire team falling to his gun right there, the ASM-1. He's going to get that scrap time, and he's going to push on forward over to this next hard point. His team's got that control, and a great start for 4N right here.
Yeah, well, Nimble did a great job there, waiting on the hard point, picking up all the scrap points there with a 3K right there. Just great. Nimble on a 6-kill streak right now, sitting inside the hard point. We can see that Integral are trying to push in here, just waiting outside here. We've got a few coming in from the side. So 40 points and counting, 30-point lead, definitely in favor of Sanctum.
Definitely is. And I mean, you just see IN a little bit powerless to really go in for these points. I mean, you see, as I say that, they're going forward for more, but you just see Wanted take out 2. Now, that still has left 2 players from IN in this hard point, but you notice 20 seconds still remain in this one. So it's a little bit of time, but will it be enough to be able to get a huge setup going on? Carry doesn't seem to think so. He's going to go on 4th, but you've got to keep in mind Jay-Z just timed out. So they're playing 3v4, but it really doesn't seem to phase them at the moment. But the main point which it will would be the rotation, which is in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, well, definitely that lead may be cut down there with a player disconnecting for Sanctum, which is quite unfortunate. Let's see how they can break into this one. But that lead that they got from the first 2 hard points, they showed that in the first game against Flashback with that early lead. So really pulling out the same sort of strategy. It looks like they are a very good hard point team.
It does seem to be the case, and I mean, they really need to be hoping right now, the team of 4N, that Jay-Z can return and complete their lineup instead of playing that 3v4 game. But, I mean, at the moment, they're still getting these points, being a little bit contested here. They're winning these one-on-one gunfights. That's what I do need to just emphasize the most. They're winning the one-on-one gunfights, and they're still taking out these advantages, even sometimes these 1v2s. But the thing that they're not doing is that, they're obviously outmatched in terms of numbers. So they're just swarming in IN, and off the quick respawns from the team of 4N right here, they're still winning these gunfights and getting this control and still getting a couple of points on the board.
Yeah, well, they may have lost a few points there, but they still have a healthy 30-point lead over Integral right now. Moving over to the next hard point here, looks like that Integral did a quite early rotation there, picking up a few points. even though they did get the scrap points, that extra player really coming in handy for them. And as we see, want to break in and get a 2K right there. Looks like we're on board with Chillian going to try and break in. He does get stunned twice. Looks like he's going to spot a player to the left there, being outside, going to get the kill. And sitting as he gets cut down, looks like that the extra player has not affected Sanctum so far.
I think it has affected them, but they've just been playing that much cautiously and that much more stable that it doesn't really seem to matter. I mean, for IN, I believe this might be their first match of the actual day competing properly. Not sure if they've had a little bit of a warm-up, but they seem a little bit rusty. Maybe it's a little bit too early in the day for them as well. Either way, they need to really work on picking their game up. I know they picked off those kills that they've got a team down, and they've got that control with 15 seconds remaining in this hard point, though. They still won't be catching up in there. And since Jay-Z did time out, it's been around 3 hard points since then, at least minimum 2, leading off maybe to a 3rd or 4th, so they haven't really shown that they've got an advantage.
Yeah, well, right now it is 8 points again. Looks like that Integral are coming back, showing the strength of their side with that extra man right now. Looks like that Chillian's going to get a pick right there, going to run down mid-street, run to back here. Looks like he's going to try and spot anybody coming in through school. Looks like we had a TK there for FET. Just looks like that he got a 3K there with the teammate, but does not seem to bother them right now. Pulling out the lead right now, and Integral, that one-man advantage looks like that's paying is doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was, of course, Fate that you saw picking off multiple amounts of kills there in that school side. Of course, you're going to be seeing him right now on your screens, picking off 1, picking off 2, looking for a 3rd. The players just aren't going to be there just yet, and he's going to be looking to complete it now, but he does get taken out. Chillian's going to be there to pick up the slack, though, in that school side. He'll pick off 1, and there we go. His teammate will pick off a 2nd, and Damage also picked off a 3rd to initially start this big bang off. Now, you're going to be having, of course, the scoreline 106 points to 89. You notice IN have gotten the lead from this school hard point, and they will be, they have been able to maintain the majority from that one as well. So now we're going back to the beginning over at the Atlas to see what they can do.
Yeah, well, right now it's back to the Atlas, as you said. So this is going to be hotly contested. It's all down to Sanctum right now if they want to just try and contest this hard point, maybe pick up a few points here. Looks like they've picked up just a couple there, but Integral have not been able to jump on this hard point until now. So it's now down just to if they can hold the points right now, they'll be able to stay in this game.
That they will, of course. Fate on your main street right now, watching over through the back line. Is going to be Chillian in the hard point itself. Swapping over to him, he does fall. Carry is there, though, to maybe make something happen. Nimble last for life for his team for a moment. That's the entire team down once again. Still, their 4th player has yet to rejoin the actual game. And we are going to be having, of course, Fate just over onto this school courtyard. Chillian picking off a double kill. I mentioned that they were a little bit rusty, but it seems like they've worked out their kinks.
Yeah, well, definitely that man advantage has really helped them. Where just that first game jitters that come out of not being a big warm-up there, just really pulling it back, and we just see Fate sitting inside the hard point here on a 5-kill streak right now, 24 kills to his name. Looks like the Chillian did the early rotation there, and it just looks like Integral are on top right now.
I mean, of course, with Chillian, they will be looking to just get these points. Still 150 to 97. They can still win from a scoreline, of course, but it won't be from this hard point itself alone. As we, with 3.5 minutes remaining, anything still is possible. And I mean, you notice since that that school hard point, the momentum of the game has just completely shifted, and the team of 4N, they just haven't been able to capitalize on anything since.
Yeah, well, that man down really did affect them there. They had a great start, pulling out to a 50-point lead over Integral. It just looks like they've dropped off there. That Integral have found their form, and it's really just coincided with the man dropping off for them, which is a bit unfortunate for this game. Hopefully he can join back for the next game or later in this game, but it looks like it's just all Integral right now as they start to do an early rotation.
That they are, and I mean, you can see, of course, the players from 4N just relying desperately on that scrap time. They haven't really been able to really do anything since, and they're going to be first in there to this next one. They can now just need a hold of it. They've got 2 players there. Players going to be coming through the basement. They will take out one. The second player will be trying to get the shots off. He'll fall as well. That's Fate with the double kill. As when you're having Wanted coming in through the car park stairs, he's going to decide to go for a little bit of a fight there on the main street. His teammate also picks off 1. So this is a good chance for them to break on in. 2v2 situation right here as they push into this hard point off. The spawn players will rejoin that battle there. 1 down. Second player will fall in the car park basement as well. Carry is there. He'll fall. Nimble is there. He's trying to get these shots in, but I mean, with the scoreline 208 points and counting to 109, constantly losing numbers in these gunfights, they really at all times just need to be winning 1v2s. And I mean, it's just impossible to ask of anyone of that.
Yeah, it's a uphill battle right now for Sanctum. They look so strong at the start there. Just really unfortunate for this game here. Looks like Integral have just found their form in this one, so it's going to go to the next game probably. They've just got it on lockdown. Early rotations coming in. Looks like that Sanctum are going to take an early rotation for this one, try and hold this hard point as long as possible. This is going to have to be their hard point if they want to come back to it. But, you know, you never know. They could pull out the impossible and defend off this hard point here, as we see Wanted getting chilly in there, but it looks like that Integral are just breaking into this hard point. It just seems to be their game right now.
It does seem to be the case indeed, as you have Yoza going to pick off. He wasn't going to pick off 2 there, but he was only able to pick off 1 in the end, as damage, of course, just hiding off in the background. 231 to 119, though, as you are going to be seeing these players push on out through the car park. He's able to take down 2. Nicely done there for him. But, I mean, still, they just need to really hold this one out. You notice damage is going to be holding that entire side there down for himself. But the players from 4N, I mean, it does seem like they have lost a little bit of motivation with only 5 seconds still left in this game. I mean, there's not much they can do in this one. That's going to be game over. 250 points to 119. And I mean, for N, it was really unfortunate that they weren't able to get into this game once their player disconnected. They stayed in it for a little bit longer, and actually one thought that, you know, this game could have gone that entire mile, but you know, even in a 3-4 environment, even against IN, but I mean, it just didn't seem to be the case, and that was the final score. And of course, 250 points they reached once it went to that school hard point there on the first time round in the first cycle. It basically turned the game over. IN picked up their stride. They were able to continue going from there. They were able to take out a map win.
Yeah, well, it was just really unfortunate for them. They lost that man straight away. They had a great lead at the start there, coming out with a 50-point lead after the first 2 hard points, really showing their skill there that we saw in the first hard point on Solar. Just not being able to capitalize, and it was just Integral really started to pull out their game after about the 100-point mark. They really looked strong. Just really needed to keep that man in the game if they wanted to stay in it. But that's just unfortunate. So now we're going to go to the next map.
It definitely, and it's going to be a capture the flag coming up next over on a Biolab. We're going to take a quick break as well as we get into that. We're back soon with more 5K action here for the ACL 5K.